Hi, this is Munira from Chicagoland. I am the CEO and founder of Kismet Ventures, Inc. And my business is coaching, mentoring. I'm also a challenger and an influencer. I am on a mission right now to find, expose, and promote people who are instilling values in others. And I have met quite a few number of people that are just doing awesome things in this world. Today, our guest is Mr. Cedrick Lefleur. Hi, Mr. Cedrick, how are you?
Hello, I'm great.
And Mr. Cedrick is from Houston, Texas. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Mr. Cedrick. Or should I say Mr. Lefleur?
No, Cedrick is fine. So I am the chief executive of Lefleur Leadership Institute. I also run a nonprofit organization in Louisiana where we help low and underperforming schools get better. But with Lefleur Leadership Institute, I primarily operate in the leadership development lane, meaning training, coaching, keynote speaking. So I'm an executive director with the John Maxwell team. And really what that means is I have the ability and the responsibility to go out and help people grow, to add value to others on a consistent basis. And we do that through leadership development, coaching, and speaking leadership principles into people.
So when you talk about leadership, people think I'm not a leader, or I'm just somebody who works in an organization where we are not, I'm not up there, right, into management. So how does that help that person?
Yeah, so you don't have to be a leader, meaning in position, to be a leader in an organization, right? A leader is just someone who adds value to other people, who influences someone else. And a leader could be the janitor in the organization. But if he or she has influence over other people, he's a leader or she's a leader. When that person can help someone else understand how to overcome a challenge, understand what the organization mission is, to help someone reach a goal. That's what leaders do. And it doesn't mean that you have to be a CEO to be a leader. It doesn't mean that you have to be given the title of supervisor or manager to be a leader. You just have to be able to influence other people.
Okay, that makes sense. So tell me about your nonprofit organization. Did you start that?
Yes, so the nonprofit organization is called Lake Charles Education Collaboration. And I'm one of the co-founders. A young lady by the name of Kimberly Delafosse in Lake Charles, Louisiana, is my partner in this venture. And our mission is improve academic outcomes in the middle, elementary, and high schools in Lake Charles, Louisiana. We measure success by improvement in test scores. If there's no improvement in test scores, then we failed our job. So our job is to help improve those things. Now, we don't go in the classroom and teach a curriculum. What we do is enhance all those other things that a student needs to be successful. First of all, a student with low self-esteem needs to know that they can achieve, right? Students need to understand that your circumstances does not have to define you. We help students with that. We help students understand that your dream has to be your dream. In John's book, Put Your Dream to the Test, we challenge students all the time with that number one question is your dream dream? Because we know that they will be more passionate if it's their dream. So we help students gain that confidence, gain the ability to have that verbal conversation and challenge their own thought processes and get outside of their comfort zone.
So do you go and do you teach these courses to the teachers to teach the children, or do you teach these values to the students themselves?
We teach it directly to the student. We believe in going straight to the source. Now, we also do leadership development for teachers and principals, helping them understand how to communicate. Everyone communicates, few connect. We help them understand how to connect. We help them with good leaders ask great questions. Those are the things that we teach the teachers. For students, we do youth type programs to help them directly understand how to be and think like a leader in their school.
So have you, so what is the, have you got some education background?
No, my background is sales and marketing.
Okay. No, because you're very passionate about this organization, and you're helping these students to find their leadership and become an influence figure in this organization. So how long has this organization been in place, and what are your success rates?
Yes. So the organization has been in place for 4 years. So if you look at school districts around the country, low performing school districts around the country, you'll see a lot of failing schools. Well, you know who's in those failing schools leading them? Educators. Well, that tells me that you don't need to be an educator to be successful, to have a passing school. You just need people that have a passion and a drive that want to help students learn, and then people that can connect with those students so that that learning can take place. I know educators believe that you have to be in education to help students advance and learn. And it's just, if that was the case, we wouldn't have any failing schools today. You know, Napoleon Hill in his book, Think and Grow Rich, says there's 2 types of knowledge, general knowledge and specialized knowledge. He says general knowledge is of little use in the world. Specialized knowledge is what is utilized to put together a definite plan and then actions to achieve those plans, right? Well, if you walk on every university campus around the country, you see a bunch of university professors that have a lot of general knowledge, but they have no money. That's what Napoleon Hill says. But what he also meant that they are not helping students take that general knowledge that they're giving them and put it together in such a way that they can then use that to go and earn money, right? So educators are, you know, they're needed, but you don't have to be an educator to help students grow, get better, advance.
So how often are these classes to the students? And first of all, what is the age range that you talk, the students that you teach? And then how often do you teach them?
Yeah, so we work with elementary all the way up through high school students. And in the elementary school, we may do a couple of programs a year. In the middle school, the same thing. In the high school, we do a lot more. So the frequency is based on the principal's, you know, ability to see beyond just the classroom. So in some elementary situations, we may go into, let's say, 3rd grade, and we take the book, Sometimes You Win, Sometimes You Learn for kids. And we will use that as a story time for the kids, but then we'll build in some leadership principles that they can grasp at that level. All right, that's a one-day event. But then you go to the different grades. And then at the middle and high school, it's going to be a little bit more advanced. We may have workshops that we put on. We call them success panels. And a success panel is where we have each session is 45 minutes, and we may bring in different experts to talk to the students. So, for example, in a success panel, you'll have one session that's entitled, So You Want to Make Money, right? So we'll bring in people that are experts in the area of financial literacy. in banking and finance. We have a session that's around entrepreneurship. So this is where people come in and that want to be students want to be business owners. So we'll bring in business leaders to those sessions to talk to students about how to start a business. What were some of the challenges? What were some of the successes that they had? What things they need to do? What mentality they need to have to be a successful entrepreneur? Then we have a program that's around civic involvement. We believe that students need to understand how to give back. So with that, we'll bring in local politicians to not talk about their political campaigns, but to talk about the importance of students giving back and why they should get involved in their communities.
That's awesome. I mean, you know, you never think about those things that the students need to listen to. But so have you, when you see the success rates, when you work these programs, do you see the success rates, and have these students graduated to start their own entrepreneurship?
So yes, so in Louisiana, there's in Lake Charles specifically, there's an organization called the Seed Center, and the Seed Center is designed to help students figure out how to start their business. And that's from the concept stage all the way through actualization. So the Seed Center helps with this and helps get funding and all that type of stuff. And then in terms of students getting involved with the other parts of it, you know, financial literacy and all this type of stuff. So as a part of financial literacy, we do a session around investing, right? How to invest and why it's important to invest in a mutual fund or in a stock market. Well, we have students today that in the high schools that we've worked in that are investing on a monthly basis in a stock market. We know that when you expose students to these type things, they are interested. They just have to find people that will expose them to that.
Well, I'm so awed, Ben. I'm so proud that you're doing such wonderful things. But I have a question for you, is that how did you go from sales and marketing to teaching students, you know, and bringing enlightenment into their life?
Yeah, so it's really about selling. I mean, so salespeople love to talk, okay? And with talking, I can talk to a kindergartner, or I can talk to an 85-year-old person. If I know that there's some information that you need, then I can talk you through it and help you grow and develop and get better. I tell educators all the time, I'm not in here to come talk about curriculum. You will forget more about curriculum than I will ever know. I'm not trying to replace you. What I'm trying to do is give the student a well-rounded education to help them think bigger, to think better. We know once people learn, they think differently, they walk differently, they act differently, they respond differently when growth happens, right? And that's what our role is, and that's what our goal is with this. So I'm very passionate about it because I know, you know, I lived it. So if you give me a second here, I can kind of walk you through my story where the community that I'm working in, I grew up in. I didn't grow up rich by any stretch of the imagination. And I got married when I was 19 years old. So talk about making some decisions that maybe you shouldn't be making at that young age. I did. My wife, she's still my wife, but at the time she was 17 years old, okay, starting her senior year of high school when we got married. Now think about that, a 19-year-old and a 17-year-old in a poor environment getting married with a kid. The chances of that being successful are so slim, right? Slim to none, and slim left town. So that only leaves none. Well, we are still married 31 years later, 31 and a half years later. I'm still married to the same lady. We have 2 kids. Both our kids have graduated from college. During that process, I graduated from college, and then when I graduated, she graduated from college. Then now our kids have both graduated from college. So I understand the challenges that those students that we work with are going through, because I walk those same streets. I went to those same schools, right? So this is another reason why I'm passionate about it. It's not something I learned in a book. It's something that I lived. And I'm 51 years old, and I was able to retire from my corporate job, and I sleep at night. I live in a $500,000 house that's fully paid for. So I know what can be done if you're intentional. I know what can be done if you really want to. I can make every excuse in the world, right, and say, woe is me, I'm 19, I got a baby, the man wants to keep me down. You can make all those excuses. Or you could take the other view and say, I created this, now let me get myself out of this, let me grow and develop.
That, you speak volumes when you say that, because experience is a very great teacher, right? I know
Yes,
that, because we
absolutely.
all have experience. And book smart, you can be book smart, but you have to have lived it to understand it. And
Yes.
there have been times when I've been broke as well, and you don't know what's next, but you have to be intentional, like you said. First be aware, then be intentional, and then create your own destiny. So I appreciate you sharing your story with us. So by adding the values, and I know you work a lot of, you work with a lot of school districts, and you're very passionate about the children. Do you only work with the schools that are in that low income areas, or do you go everywhere?
Yeah, so that is in Louisiana. That is in Lake Charles, Louisiana. I actually live in Houston, Texas. So yeah, now I work with school districts in Houston as well. I have a stronger relationship with the one in Louisiana, but I do work with school districts in Houston, and we're working to try to bring some of these programs to the Houston schools, because I know that they need them.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. So when somebody is trying to help, I mean, I've gone into schools, and because I've got no connections, or I'm just introducing myself, you have the gatekeeper who doesn't let you go anywhere. What would you tell somebody like me who is trying to get into the school so they can bring awareness of these programs and help students?
Yeah, so that's always the dilemma that most people face, is how to get past that gatekeeper. So one of the ways that you can get past the gatekeeper is, I go to the school's website, and I will pull out specific names of the people that I want to talk to. So then I'll go get the principal's name, I'll go get maybe one of the counselors' name, I'll get the assistant principal's name, or I may go and talk to one of the coaches. So I will pull out their name and email off of their website and contact them that way, then set up an appointment. So now when I get to the school, I'm walking in with an appointment to meet with this person. So then that gatekeeper is out of the way, right? That's just the way that I do it. The gatekeeper is there because everybody's coming in trying to meet with them. So I just do it a different way. But let's say they don't have that information on their website. So the other way that you do this is you go there the first day, and the gatekeeper is there, and you write down that person's name, meaning the gatekeeper's name, right? So then let's say you go back there another day, a couple of weeks later. Now you go and you call out that person's name. Hey, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. Talking to her or him, and bring them something of value. Meaning, I give out a lot of books. So I'll bring a book. So, I thought about you the other day, when I was getting prepared to come here today. And so I wanted to give you this book. I just thought that I just like this book and thought you could use this book. Right now, you've broken down that barrier a little bit from that person. So now she's going to say, well, you know, maybe you should come back on this day because he'll be available. Or why don't you go ahead and give me your number and I'll tell him that, hey, you want to get with him. Or, hey, this person's not available. Why don't you talk to this person? Right? Because they're going to feel that obligation to help you.
Okay. So I see what you're doing. Okay. So what you're saying is when you go into an office and you find the barrier, just don't call it quits, but go in and with an intention to create a relationship with them. Is it necessary that everybody give them a book?
It's not necessary, no. I just find it a good way to break down barriers and walls, and I buy a lot of books with the intention of giving them out.
Okay, I like that. I like that. So, you know, giving away your trade secrets.
Yes.
So I see you're in a car and you're talking. Is this like a working lunch?
After this, my day is over. It just so happened, I have what's called an accountability partnership program. And with an accountability partnership program, I don't have the, I'm sorry, hold on, let me send this. With accountability partnership program, this is where I meet with people on a weekly basis to help keep them accountable to their goals and help them stay on track of reaching their goals. And after I finished the leadership game, I sat down and talked with a JMTer, and then I had back-to-back accountability partnership conference calls. So that's why I'm here in my car. I have a desk that's in my car that my iPad is sitting on, and but my day is done after I'm done with the call today.
So this is like your working office, your mobile office?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Well, thank you so much for taking this call, and thank you for being on our interview. And I love the fact that you're instilling values in students because you have to start them young. I want to ask you something else that's very near and dear to my heart. You mentioned the Everyone Communicates, If You Connect book. And, you know, I haven't yet completed the whole of everything in that book, but I'm on my way on it. I realize that that's very important in this day and age because we've got these, right? And everybody has one. And normally people are constantly on it. I worked the last job that I had. We had, you know, a few younger people who were bosses and managers. And when they were talking to you, there was no eye contact or touch or anything. They were always on their pad. And I don't know if they were listening to me at all because there were times I would have to repeat myself numerous times. And I like the interaction where, you know, we have eye contact, especially when we're in a one-on-one environment. And you mentioned the book. So is that something that you're noticing with the young students also, and then you are helping them come back to reality?
Yeah, so connecting definitely is extremely important in any relationship. And so, however, you know, I'm a big electronic type person and definitely see the advantages of electronic medium. So I don't tell students, hey, you got to put down your phone and this and that and the other, unless we're in a session. But because technology, I mean, you and I are able to see each other right now because of technology, right?
Yes.
So I just use it with students to help connect with them. Connecting is about connecting where they are. If I brought in a whole bunch of paper, I wouldn't be connecting with them because they don't want a whole lot of paper. I don't really want a whole lot of paper either. So I have to connect with them where they are and then bring them up. So I use a lot of video and technology type things in our sessions. That way I'm able to help connect with those students.
That's awesome. Thank you. Because, you know, everybody has a different perspective. And then you
Sure.
have to see it from yours. But I love your other perspective that you have to come to where they are.
Yes.
Any last words for people who are trying to do what you are doing?
Well, here's what I would say. Limiting beliefs will always step in the way and tell you you can't. It's going to always tell you you're not good enough. It's going to always tell you, well, what about the last time you tried something you failed? Well, those are limiting beliefs. You can't let those things stop you. You have to believe within yourself that you can. And you have to believe, take that belief and turn it into action and actually go out and do something. If you want to be a speaker, you need to go out and talk with people and speak with people. If you want to be a one-on-one coach, then you need to have clients that you're talking to. You need to be coaching people. If you want to train people, then you need to go out and get people to train. It doesn't have to be 100 people. It can be 2 people that you're training. You have to start small and build big. No mass movement ever started big. They all started small. The other thing that I want to tell you is that we have to live outside of our comfort zone. Comfort zone is characterized as doing the same thing in the same ways with the same people at the same time, getting the same results, but still asking the question, why? Why am I failing? Why do I continue to not get new clients? Well, what are you doing? Are you doing the same thing you did before and it didn't work? Are you still doing that thing now? Well, you need to do something different. So that means that you need to get outside of your, what we call the comfort zone. And the comfort zone is that thing where the only way you get out of it, and I'm showing you an armband here that's called the comfort zone armband. The only way you get out of that comfort zone is you have to ask yourself 2 questions. Every person has to ask themselves that. What stretches me and who stretches me? The who stretches me is, who do I talk to on a daily basis that challenges my thought process, that makes me think differently? Then I need to surround myself with more of those type people. What stretches me? What are those things I do that I'm not comfortable doing? I need to do more of those, because when I do that and I'm feeling uncomfortable, it's because I'm growing and I'm living outside of my comfort zone. You know, the law of the rubber band says growth stops when we lose the tension between where we are and where we want to be. You see, there's no growth in this rubber band when it's limp. There's no value there. The value in the rubber band is the ability to grow and stretch. The same thing with the human mind. The most complex thing on the human body is to grow and stretch. And that's what we're designed to do. We just have to watch ourselves and guard ourselves of these type people. I call them average. These are the people that will sprinkle in a little doubt or sometimes just block your path. And they're going to come in and say, you know, you shouldn't be doing that. You're not good enough to do that. Nobody's going to listen to you. That's average mindset. Average mindset will say, why are you doing all that work on the weekends? You need to just be partying and having a good time on a weekend. That's your free time. Average mindsets will say that. Guard yourself of average. I'm going to leave you with this. Napoleon Hill said in the book, Think and Grow Rich, every person that wins at an undertaking must be willing to burn his ships and cut all sources of retreat. Only by doing so can that person maintain a mindset known as a burning desire to win. We should all have a burning desire to win, but we have to eliminate the retreat.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much. Because there is no going back, right?
Right.
And I love the fact that you showed us the rubber bands, because everybody needs to stretch. Everybody needs to stretch. And there's so many people who are in that comfort zone and they complain because growth isn't happening.
Right. Exactly. Yes.
Well,
you know, when.
Go ahead.
No, when failure is close at hand, the easiest thing for a person to do is quit. And we normally retreat back into safety. I would tell you, never retreat back into safety. continue moving forward and feeling uncomfortable because you're growing. That's where special is. That's where significance is.
Thank you. Thank you so very much, Mr. Cedrick Lefleur. I really appreciate it, and I appreciate your time. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like and subscribe to the channel, and we'll leave your business page on the comment section as well. Thank you. Have a good day.